Welcome back to CEO.CA. Now, here to give us a sneak peek at London's must-go mining event is Andrew Thake, Divisional Director of Resourcing Tomorrow, which is coming up December 3rd to the 5th. Andrew, can you give us a picture of what we can expect at the show this year?
Well, for 2024, Rachel, we've chosen a theme. And the theme for this year comes from many conversations that we've had with the mining industry. And the theme is breaking out of the echo chamber. Often when we talk to people within the mining industry, they say that for the industry to go and progress, it's often a little bit too guilty of just talking to itself. So it needs to reach out. It needs to reach out and have more conversations with governments. It needs to reach out and have more conversations with local communities and with indigenous nations. It needs to reach out to new investors, whether it be technology investors, whether it be ESG fund managers, or whether it be OEMs. It needs to also have more conversations with the midstream and also the downstream as well. So that was the basis for this year's event. And so far, it's resonated very, very well with our audience.
That's great. And for folks who may have not gone to the show before, can you give us a quick rundown of how these conversations among these different parties you just described are facilitated at the show itself?
Sure. It's Resourcing Tomorrow is a 3-day conference. It takes place the 3rd to 5th of December in London. It's a large exhibition which has over 175 exhibitors there, including junior mining companies, mid-tiers and majors, of any commodity that you care to mention, whether it's gold and precious, whether it's base metals, or whether it's the increasingly popular area of critical minerals. We also have 3 theatres of content happening throughout the 3 days, where we have over 300 speakers focusing on those key issues, whether it is to do with government policy, whether it's to do with critical minerals, ESG, sustainability, whether it's these commodity deep dives, whether it's looking at geopolitics and energy security. We also, and this is like new for this year, we also on the 2nd of December, we have a government roundtable that we're running in conjunction with the London Stock Exchange. And again, that will bring together 20 governments, 20 mining companies and 20 industry experts to go and discuss as to how we can go and move forward and accelerate the energy transition. And last but by no means least, we like to celebrate success. So on the evening of the 5th of December, we have our awards and gala dinner taking place at the London Guildhall.
Now, 2 follow-up questions there. I'm curious to understand, from the juniors to the majors, who's attending here, and also any topics that are, on the agenda that you're personally most looking forward to.
Sure. So we'll have 2,000 attendees. And of those 2,000 attendees, we'll have 175 mining companies. And again, from the big majors and mid-tiers, such as the Rio Tintos, the Anglo-Americans, all the way to the up-and-coming junior exploration companies. We have over 400 investors attending the event, and they'll be doing one-to-one meetings with the mining companies. But also in between, we'll have, all layers of the whole value chain, whether it's governments, whether it's technology providers, whether it's consultants, banks, brokers, financiers. I think in terms of the topics that are of particular interest to me is I'm really interested in listening to the conversations about the vertical integration that we're increasingly seeing happening in mining supply chains. I will be interested in some of the geopolitics conversations because the event will take place very soon after the US election. And I think that it will be significant as to whether it's Kamala Harris or Donald Trump wins the election and how that will impact US mining policy. Linked to that, we will have the US government will be speaking at the event. We have Assistant Secretary Anthony Pyatt, who's already confirmed. I'm also interested into, some of the more kind of like interesting and out there topics. So we do have presentations on food security, which is a topic that we often haven't had at Resourcing Tomorrow before. But I think often when we discuss about the mining industry, we forget about phosphates and its kind of value in terms of producing fertilizers. But we also have presentations about space mining, which always pulls in an audience. And this year, for the first time, we've also got a conversation and a debate about deep sea mining, which is certainly a topic that sort of divides opinion, but we are seeing is increasingly happening.
And can you give us some detail on the keynote speakers that are speaking and some of the topics that they're covering too?
Sure. We have 20 majors and mid-tiers speaking. So we have speakers such as Mark Bristow from Barrick, Bob Wilt from Marden, but also speakers from Anglo American, Rio Tinto, BHP. So we really have a who's who of the mining industry. We also have leading investors speaking at the event as well. And I'm particularly pleased to say we've also got OEMs speaking at the event for the first time this year. So it'll be a great opportunity to hear from the likes of Rivian, Nissan, Hyundai, really interesting sort of presentations talking about what's happening further on down the value chain.
And I understand that attracting young people to the mining industry is a constant topic at major events like Resourcing Tomorrow. What's that been like so far, planning for it ahead of the show?
It's been really good. I'm really delighted that BHP Explore have decided to go and sponsor that session. But we're seeing a record turnout of students. Last year we had 120 students, and this year we're already heading for 180 students. And when those students come along to the event, I guess there's a couple of things to emphasize. First of all, is we give them free passes to attend. But the reason why we do that is we talk about there being a shortage of minerals in the mining industry to go and meet the demands of the energy transition. And that's true. We definitely need to have more copper mines. We need to have more uranium. We need to have more lithium, et cetera, et cetera. But also, if you look at the recent McKinsey report, we talk about 50% of the mining industry will be retired by 2029. So unless we get more young people into the mining industry, we're just not going to go and succeed. So for us at Resourcing Tomorrow, it's very important to encourage these young people to go and pursue a career in mining. And if by having them, attend our event, we can go and connect them with some prospective future employees, we can persuade them to go and pursue a career in mining, as opposed to, working in the oil and gas industry or working in some other sector, we feel that we would definitely have succeeded with that. And certainly there's a number of students who attended last year who are now currently in jobs in the mining industry as a direct result of having attended our Next Generation Leaders program.
All right. Well, we're going to wrap it up there, Andrew. Always lovely to see you. Folks, that was Andrew Thake of Resourcing Tomorrow. Again, a show that's coming up December 3rd to the 5th. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.